Our next step on this project is we're going to enter in numbers. Um, when we enter in numbers, we want to make sure that the numbers we enter are correct, because if they're not, they're going to affect the values that we will manipulate with. Um, so these numbers are going to represent yearly income and expense amounts. And if you're working in the book, you'll notice that table 1.1 is going to show you the numbers you're going to have to put in. So make sure that you use this. Now, if you're just watching the video, I'm going to enter them as I go. So the first row, we're going to do wages. Now, it looks like on this worksheet, it looks like that they're making the same wages across the entire year. They're going to make the same monthly wages. So the wages are going to be $1,000.29. Now, we're not messing with currency quite yet, so don't put in dollar signs, just put it in normally. Now, since it's consistent, we're going to go ahead and use the fill handle and fill across. Now remember, how I do this is I hover over and use my mouse until my mouse becomes a plus sign. Then I'm going to hold the left mouse button and drag across, and it's going to fill it across. So I didn't have to type that, 12 times. Okay, now in these other rows, it's not going to be, some of these are going to be easy, but some of them will not be. So dividends, you don't usually get dividends every month. You usually get it every quarter, or you might get it twice a year. It really depends on the company. So every January, this person gets $4,000.75 in dividends. Now, September, they're going to get the same amount. And what we're going to do is even though a blank cell represents 0, we're just going to put zeros in anyway, because when you print this out, it may not have grid lines, and the person that's looking at it may not know that it's in Excel. So you want to make sure it's illustrated well for the reader. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and put in the expenses. So for rent, that's cheap. $400.89 each month for the rest of the year. Food, they have a food budget of $300. Whether or not they go over it or go under it, that's them, but that's their budget. Tuition, looks like they pay tuition twice a year, $1,500. Again, that's pretty cheap, $1,500. And the rest of these will be filled in with zeros, because again, you want to make sure it looks good for the reader. Books, because they pay tuition twice a year, we're going to pay for books, $500. That seems about right. And we're going to do the same thing here. Notice that I'm kind of speeding through this. These features are meant to save you time. You spend really a lot of time by inputting numbers you really don't need to input, and that's why autofill is a wonderful thing. Same thing, entertainment. So January, we're going to type in 100, and look, because that was too big for the cell, you can no longer see it. We're going to have to fix that later. That looks very unattractive right now. Okay, so we're going to autofill this across. Ooh, cheap car payment. Their car payment's $154.79. Then we're going to autofill that. Gas. Now this one almost tripped me up. This one, gas can be different depending on the month. So even in my personal life, I tend to spend more in the summers because I like to travel. But January, this person's gas budget is $100. February, $100. March, $100. April, $100. And then May, June, and July, they're going to spend $150. Probably because they like to travel during the summer. August through December are going to be $100. Then we got miscellaneous expenses. So they're going to probably put $100 away for any miscellaneous expenses that come up. So there we go, there's our data. And now in the next steps, we're going to be manipulating that data by calculating totals and net income.